Hello guys, so I have been playing Pragmata on the Nintendo Switch 2 and the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, and I have to say the performance is better than I expected. Capcom is doing an amazing job optimizing their games on the Claw 8 and especially on the Nintendo Switch 2. By the way guys, mind the cat. So let's have a look at the performance on the Switch 2 and the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. Now before I begin, I just want to make it clear to you guys that I'm doing this just for fun, just to see how the performance and the visuals are on the Claw 8 and the Switch 2. I think both of these handhelds are unique in their own regard, and none of them are, better than the other. On the Claw 8, I did have a lot of problems launching the game. I got a D3D and DXGI error. So in case you're getting the same error, I'll show you at the end of the video how to fix this. But for now, let's see how the performance is on the Claw 8 and the Switch 2. First of all, let's check out the game on the Nintendo Switch 2. And as usual, I don't think we get any graphic options on the Switch 2. So let's just check out the game on the Switch 2 and see how it performs. I will try to skip the cutscenes so I can check out the gameplay and the performance. Now, one thing I can notice is that the game is very smooth on the Switch 2. It's definitely over 30 FPS. I'm not sure if it's 60 FPS, but it seems like it's very close to 60 FPS, or at least locked at 60 FPS. The visuals look really nice. I can see that it's definitely not 1080p. They are using some sort of upscaling, because I can see some jagged edges in the distance. So I'm not sure exactly what resolution the game is running at, but it's definitely a lower resolution. The performance seems very nice. Now I know in the later parts of the game, when you go out into more open world areas, the game will be running not at 60 FPS, probably around 40 FPS. But to be honest with you guys, because the game does try to run closer to 60, for the most part you're going to be absolutely fine, and you're gonna have a really good time in playing this game, because the graphics, the performance, the overall experience on the Switch 2 is just amazing, especially considering this is a tablet. This thing is basically like a tablet with the Joy-Cons attached on the sides, so you can remove the Joy-Cons, and you're running a AAA game released in 2026 by Capcom on a tablet. This thing is so much more portable than the Claw 8. So one of the reasons you might want to pick up this game on the Claw 8 is simply for the portability. I mean, I can put this in my pocket, whereas on the Claw 8, unfortunately, that's not going to be possible. This thing is much bigger and heavier. So it comes down to two things really. Do you prefer having a more portable system, or would you rather have something bigger, almost like a laptop, that will give you slightly better visuals and a better performance? So it all comes down to your personal preference. In my own opinion, I think it depends on the mood that I am in. If I feel like I want to play at a slightly better graphics and slightly sharper image, obviously I'll play on the Claw 8. However, most of the time I just want to play the game on the go, and the Switch 2 is really great for that. So both of these handhelds are amazing at what they do, and regardless of which one you play it on, you're gonna have an amazing time with this game. Now let's check the game out on the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. Now this is running an Intel chipset, and one of the things that I know is that this game does not have XeSS as it was optimized for AMD. And if I go to upscaling, as you guys can see, there is only AMD FSR and no XeSS. However, I will not be using upscaling for the first test. Ray tracing is off and frame generation is off. Everything else is on. Hair is on low, but everything else is on high and medium. So let's just see how the game performs with these settings on the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. So this is native 800p on the Claw 8. The first thing I can notice is that the game does seem sharper. Now in terms of sharpness, I do have 210 Claw enabled, and as you guys can see, the sharpness is at 50% on the Intel adaptive sharpening option. So this makes it look much sharper than it would otherwise look. In terms of the performance, it feels really smooth. As you guys can see, say 60 FPS locked, and I think it's just a little bit smoother than the Nintendo Switch 2. So it seems like the performance is really nice on the Claw 8. Now let's see how the game runs at 1080p, well 1200p on the Claw 8. So 1200p, and I will leave FSR 3 at balanced. Ray tracing is off, frame generation is off, and the rest of the settings are the same as before. In fact, I will reduce mesh quality back to medium and volumetric lighting to low. Let's see how it performs now. So now, as you guys can see, the game is running around 50 FPS. If this had XeSS, I'm pretty sure it would be running at 60 FPS, but because it's optimized on AMD and not Intel, the performance is not as good, and I just saw it drop to under 50 FPS. The game is better played at 800p on the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. I did have a lot of problems running the game on the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, so I did a few things and I will show you exactly how to fix it. So once I had the game downloaded, I went to Properties, and then under Launch Options I typed in -DX11. Then I launched the game again. Unfortunately, I still got the same error. So then I went to Installed Files and I clicked on Verify Integrity of Files. Then I launched the game again. I still got the error. So then I went back into Installed Files and clicked on Browse. And in here you can see config.ini, and all you have to do is just delete this. Once you delete this, there's one more thing you need to do to make sure the game does not give you an error, and that is to make sure that Motion Assistant is not running in the background. I have already closed it, and make sure you close Motion Assistant. Once all of that is done, all you have to do is click on play and the game should launch properly. If you have any problems, just comment down below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.